Hello farmers, welcome back to East Vineland where the potato harvest is and has been going on for a while. When I took this contract and I looked at the map, I'm like, oh, field 1 is not that big and I'm going to get paid $8,000 to do so and I can get extra potatoes for the refinery? Sounds good. Then you get up here and I'm like, oh, this field is a decent size for potato harvesting. But as for the fields on the map in hindsight, it's kind of like a small field. But overall, it's going well, though. It's going well. The only problem is, one, when I borrowed the items for the contract, the trailer they gave me is that power tube. It only holds not that much potatoes or liters. So I'm using my own trailer. But the other problem is we're at field number 1, which is the northwestern part of the map, the farthest northwest you can get. And I got to deliver all the way to the southeastern part of the map. And I've already made 3 trips down there. And I need one more trip, almost a full trailer load of potatoes to complete the delivery order for potatoes. And I get the rest. I'm not going to get as many potatoes as I thought I was going to get. But it could be deceiving, so we'll see what happens when we deliver on down there. I think I'm at 78%. I think every time I go down, it's like 26% of the contract completed with this trailer that we got here. So I'll be able to keep a little bit from this trailer load and whatever's left in the potato harvester when we get done. In the meantime, one of the Franks did a cultivating job in field 65 for like $6 grand, minus what I needed to borrow the items with. So if you take like the 8,000 here minus 500 for borrowing items, which seems kind of weird, 500 to borrow a potato harvester, but yet it's like $600 to borrow a cultivator. But either way, we're talking about like 14 grand in contracts I'm going to get paid here very soon. Then I'll refresh the page. There's 2 harvesting contracts I'm looking to get. All the other ones are kind of like, yeah, they're not bad right now. In the beginning, I would have taken every single harvesting contract there was. But, you know, you keep doing the same contracts over and over again on small fields, and you're just looking for bigger contracts now. At least I am. I think it's like field 82 in the northeastern part of the map. It's a decent-sized barley field. And there's a decent-sized wheat field that I'm looking at, like field 34-ish, something like that. They're both decent size. I'm guessing those are going to pay like 8 grand maybe to harvest those. And the bigger fields, the better, because that way I'll be able to use my baler and get some straw off the fields also. But in the meantime, I've been kind of looking at some things. I was going to actually have a worker harvest the potatoes, but being in the corner of the map like it is, for one, got trees over there, and of course right behind me in the field there's a road, so having a worker trying to turn this thing around, because this thing needs about 20 hectares to turn around in, so I could see it getting stuck all the time. It's like, you know, I'll just harvest the whole field myself, which I've done, but I've taken a time out or two just to kind of, what's my next step here, what are we building up the money for? A couple things. I would like to get the butterfly mower, the Kuhn butterfly mower, so I can cut the grass. It's a little bit easier and a little bit quicker. Not that it takes too long, but in the future I would like it to make it a little bit easier. But I think our next step might be to get a bigger tractor. So I'm looking at a tractor that maybe I can bump it up to like 350 horsepower, something of that nature. I could buy more land as well. That's an opportunity if it comes along. Well, I mean, it's always an opportunity because land does not come up for sale. But I need a bigger tractor, but because if I get more land, I would like to start planting in the land, which means, you know, drilling, either seeding or planting. And this class Arion doesn't quite have the horsepower to do, I think, what we're looking to do. So, yeah, we'll have to wait and see on that. Wow, I really need more potatoes here. I gotta fill up this trailer to complete the order. Kind of making me nervous. I mean, I've gotten, I think, every potato there is on this property. I did have a quick look to see if there are any other potato fields out there, but did not see any. But after we finish this contract, I will refresh the contract page, because right now there's only 2 harvesting contracts for small fields. One's wheat, I believe, and the other one's sorghum. So nothing, like I said, I was looking forward to. Sorghum, we don't get any straw off of that. This should be my last pass. I think I can get it all. But potato harvesting, sugar beet harvesting is a harvest that it's fun to do once in a while. And then when you get halfway through the harvest, it's like, yeah, I don't want to do this again for a while. With base game equipment. We'll be using a modded one in the future. I don't know where it's going to happen first, on No Man's Land, or if it's going to happen here. I do have a modded root crop harvester that I'm going to eventually get my hands on somewhere and use it. We're not too far off in No Man's Land and using it, but it actually could happen here first. This is not going to fill up that trailer. See, it's 20,000. Am I going to be short on potatoes? What does it say for the contract? How are we doing here? Yeah, so the cultivating job was 6,000. I'm 96% complete, so last time I was down there, I said like 78% of the delivery is done. I got no more. I got no more potatoes in the harvester, and I'm only 92% full. I'm barely going to cover the contract, so I'm not going to get many potatoes off this field, if any. Well, we'll see what happens by going down there. So if you're wondering where I am, we're up at field number 1, which is at the northwestern part of the map, and my delivery is at the farthest southeastern part of the map. So I got a bit of a drive to get there. I'm going to cut across a couple fields here, get on the road. I'll meet you down there. We'll deliver the rest of these potatoes. Fingers crossed it completes the contract. And can I have some potatoes at least to put in my fuel refinery to get that up and going? And we have arrived. I think it's a fast food chain that this is supposed to be. I don't know exactly what it's called. What do they call it in the contract? That'll be the easiest thing. And take the products to the fast food restaurant. Well, I just called the fast food restaurant. Alright, so I gotta watch the money in the upper right hand corner once I find the delivery spot, which is right there, because I don't want to sell the potatoes. I want to bring it back to the fuel refinery and make some diesel. Alright, so I got $262 for the extra potatoes, 13 for the environmental score, but I am left with almost 11,000 liters of potatoes, so that was better than I thought it was going to be. I am okay with that. Let me just double check here. I think I'm just going to head and complete the harvesting contract for potatoes. I don't feel like doing that again. It was only $588 to lease the potato harvester, a tractor, which I did not use. I don't know what it was, and the trailer, which I did not use. But let's go ahead and collect on that. And like I said, I got 2 contracts that pay. They pay all right, actually. It's not too bad. Just that the fields are too small. I don't feel like doing them. That's plain and simple. The cultivating job, I'm not going to collect on that yet because there might be cultivating jobs coming up. Let's refresh the contracts. Yep, another cultivating job. So since I got the material, let's go ahead and just field number 1. That's the one we just did. Just accept the contract. And maybe we'll head up there with, I think it's a John Deere 6 something. I did not see, and a cultivator. Yep, and a cultivator. Getting very technical. Why did you just stop, like, right there? I don't have insurance, so just drive on. Don't even bother. I'll meet you back up at the fuel refinery. We'll dump the 10,000 liters of potatoes in there. We'll activate that, start making some diesel. And whatever product is made with potatoes and making diesel. Maybe compost and a little bit of methane. Well, let's drive on in. Since I really don't have an entryway here, let's just pull on in. I'm trying to figure out what I want to do around here, if I want to landscape yet, or just leave it be just for a little while until I can figure out exactly how I want to approach this. Potatoes. Yeah, there we go. That's where we want to drop those off at. Pile those on in. Don't know what we're going to get out of it, but we get out of it what we get out of it here. Potatoes right here. So we will get diesel, methane, compost, and pig food. So probably to sell the pig food. The compost, I don't think there's an area to sell that yet, but I could probably put down something to sell. But let's go ahead and activate that. Let's see, diesel. I'm trying to figure out how I want to do this. Diesel, I don't want to put in storing. I think I want to put diesel into distribute. And I'm hoping that I don't know if it'll go back into itself. So you can see, oh, maybe it does. Because what I'm going to do later on is activate this. We're going to take diesel and make electricity. That's what we want to do with it. And everything else here, let's see, compost. I'm just going to put that on storing pig food. I'm just going to put that on storing. And methane will probably... I'm just going to leave methane on storing for now as well. It's not going to make a whole lot of methane, right? Yeah, it's like 2 methane for every... So, let's see, I got 10,000, so 10. I'm going to get 20 methane, which is nothing, really. So, let's see. I'm getting diesel here, 9, 10. I think it's the same. I think it's storing, it's showing it here. I think that's the same number. So, change that to storing. Yeah, we'll change that to storing. And then I'll turn on that later on. I was trying to figure out, would it be better just to sell the diesel outright? Or actually, do I actually earn money by taking the diesel and making electricity? And unfortunately, looking in here, we don't really have an idea what electricity sells for. I mean, you can do the math, and I may have to do it later on, see what I make in a day for electricity, and I can see what the price is, and then figure out what I would get for the diesel, do all that fun stuff. But for now, I'm just going to go ahead and take the diesel and make electricity because I don't have a tanker to, bring the diesel somewhere and sell it. So might as well just go ahead and make electricity with it and get the money from it that way. Oh yeah, and by the way, I don't remember... I just checked on the chickens before I started recording. We're up to 31 chickens. I thought it was at 21, but we're at 31 now. That's all I can say. So we should be getting more eggs here and there. Of course, we got our silage bales that we're just holding on to until we desperately need the money. And if I can wait until December, that's fine as well. Can we turn the beacons off? Thank you. We'll turn that off as well. Yeah, so now we got 31 chickens. We still don't have a full pallet of eggs, but it'll get there. We're up to almost 400 pieces of eggs. We'll get there. It's all fun. What did it say, 97%? Oh, their health is at 97% because we got new chicks running around, so their health is a little bit low. The funny thing is, I keep going into landscaping and get rid of the tall grass in the feed trough. And every time I reload the game, the grass, boom, just comes right on back. I just paint. I don't do the textures. I just paint the ground. With no textures on the ground, it should be kind of like this, but the grass keeps on growing there. So I'll have to deal with it. Anywho, we need to get over to field number 1 and do the contract in the John Deere 6000 something or other. I didn't quite complete the whole field, but the farmer was happy with it. Said, you're completed. I was like, okay, we are good. So this is the John Deere 6230R. And this is the cultivator I got. You want to fold in? Thank you. Let's head to field number 1 and get cultivating on that. Check for some traffic here. I know I've said it many times in this series. It seems like, yeah, I'll just cross the road. There won't be no traffic coming. I won't bother looking. And it's always like there is a car. I'm glad these are borrowed. The heck did I hit here? There is a bit of a bump there, isn't there? Well, just do what one man can do here. Just flip it over. Built John Deere tough. Not even a dent or scratch or anything. Let's unfold the cultivator and get to work here. Over the bridge. So this farmer here just had potatoes in it that we do know of. I mean, we just barely finished harvesting in it. And usually you should be plowing the field after a root crop, but apparently they just want the field cultivated. So that's what we'll do for them. Get this job done. Yeah, so looking at getting a bigger tractor. Like I said, the Class Arion is working nicely for what we're doing. But once we start getting more fields, which the money's going to start coming in a little bit quicker because we got all those silage bales that we got to sell. And yeah, we just need to have a bigger tractor in order to be able to plant, drill, whatever we decide to get. I guess, like I said, the store page is going to determine that most likely, because it has so far. So I'm going to prioritize a bigger tractor. I'm not selling the Class Arion. We're keeping that. And we're also going to keep the John Deere 710. 710, 730? I think it's a 710. We'll be keeping that as well. So just getting a bigger tractor. So when we do get a field, I can probably get a seed drill. But we could also go the route of buying a field with a crop in it next season. Maybe save our cash as much as we can. Buy some fields next year with crops in it and get ourselves a harvester. And then harvest the crops. And then 2 years from now, then we can get ourselves a tractor and a drill. Because I don't need a tractor to harvest. We just need a harvester and a trailer and a tractor. And the Class Arion can easily haul that trailer when it's full of grain. And I'm liking how that fuel refinery is working out. When I put that down, I was a little nervous how much money it was going to make from the wind turbine, but only making like 2,000. I think it was like 2,000, or was it 4,000 for a full day? I can deal with that. I think it was like 4,000-ish. I already forgot. It's been a couple days since I recorded last episode. I'm just glad it wasn't like 20 grand in a day. I'd be like, yeah, that's a little bit too much. But I think I hit the sweet spot with that. I'm still going to keep on doing contracts this summer, and of course the grass contracts. I'm going to try not to show those because we've been doing a lot of grass contracting and our own grass work so far here on East Vineland, but trying to not show it as much because it just seems like we've just been doing a lot of it. But those are the best paying contracts that we got, and that's all we got for our own farmland as well. But eventually we'll have more to do. I know there's been a few comments as well to try to make the episodes longer. I appreciate that you want them longer. They've been roughly about a half hour. Sometimes my videos can go up to about an hour long. But this week, been rather busy. I've been putting out 2 videos a day. So I've been kind of swamped with what's been going on. So making these videos an hour long, it's going to be kind of rough. I don't have that much time. But maybe when things slow back down, or once winter rolls around, I can probably get the videos maybe back up to 45 minutes. But if I'm only putting one video a day, they probably will be like 40 minutes long, 45 minutes long-ish. But just for this week and possibly next week, yeah, they'll probably be just a half hour. Because the other thing that's going on is I'm putting a lot of hours in off camera that you know of. So I'm already, I'm in the game for like 2.5 hours before I start recording. So in order to, keep on going it usually takes me like an hour and a half to get like a 40-minute video out. So that's a lot of playtime. I don't want to just keep showing off repetitive work. Like I just mentioned, like with the grass fields. Seemed like that's been kind of repetitive. But it's work that needs to be done. Because like I said, if you're new to this series, and you didn't watch the first few episodes, or maybe forgot, we're not allowed to lease items. Only for doing contract work we can lease, but we cannot lease items to work on our own farmland. We cannot borrow money from the bank, and we started with no money, no land, and no equipment. So we're working our way there. So that's why taking those grass contracts when they're going to pay you 20 grand, plus you get the extra bales off, and it seems like we get a lot of bales, extra bales off these fields, which is good, but this seems like it's a high rate, which is fine. And I did not ask the map modder what the update is going to be like. As I'm recording this episode, the update has not hit yet for this map, so I don't know if they reduced the amount of yield we get off the grass fields for the contracts. I don't think that's what it's going to be. but I want to make sure I get those done. Like, oh yeah, that's one of the updates to it. I don't know. All right, I'm going to keep on continuing with this, and I'll see you at the end, and maybe we'll refresh the contracts once again, see what comes up for contracts, and we'll go from there.
I wasted all my time, I wasted all my nights, I wasted it on someone who's indifferent. He didn't love me right, he told me I was blind, but I never really wanted to listen. You have been here since day one, see my ups and downs, never left my side once, yeah you stuck around. Who knew it was you? You have been here all along, you have always been the one, yeah who knew it was you? You have always been the one, the truth. You have been here all along.
Just to think, early this morning this field had potatoes all in it, and now it's already been harvested and cultivated. I think I can complete the contract probably one more pass if it hasn't already been completed. Of course, I got the HUD turned off, so that doesn't help me know it is completed. Let's go ahead and turn the HUD back on. And I do want to check on the refinery. I know it's only been a few minutes, but I think that refinery was making the diesel rather quickly. And I do want to check on the store page, the economy page, how much pig food sells for and when is a good time to sell it, or maybe it doesn't matter, or do I have a place to sell it? I'm not sure. Sometimes we don't have a place to sell stuff like that. All right, I'm pretty sure this contract is completed. So we can collect on field 1 because I didn't borrow the items on field number 1. Yep, field number 1 cultivated, so it's 2757. We'll click on that. Harvesting contracts, 24, field 36. I think that might be the field I was talking about earlier. And I was waiting for that because I was hoping for a bigger combine. That looks like it might be the 45 flex head. They're actually going to give me an auger wagon as well. Field 36. Let me double check on that. Your field 36. Yep, that's one of the fields I was looking at. The other field is going to be up here, which is 80. I'm hoping that one comes up. Let me go back to the contract page. Where are we here? There we go. Contract page. Let's go ahead and accept that. That's Barley, Grain Sell Point North. Let's go ahead and make sure I borrow those items. And now with a big combine like that, it makes doing the other fields rather quickly. So I may end up taking up all these contracts as well. I think I'll just start with that one. Let's go ahead and we're going to leave the John Deere here with the cultivator. Let's go ahead and teleport on down to the case. And this is the 9250. This might only be the 40-foot header. Still pretty big though compared to what the other contracts were offering for a combine. Let me get the map up so I can see where I got to go. To the right, which that I did know. And what I'm going to have to do is we're going to have to grab our Class Arion and our baler because we want to bale up the straw bales. And I don't have one leased from doing a grass contract currently. So the other production building that we will be buying is the grain mill, so we can make cracked corn for our chickens, but also, of course, make flour and anything else that we can. And that's as far as I'm going on that production line. I don't plan on making bread and all that stuff, but we need to make cracked corn. I mean, I could just buy the cracked corn over and over again, but after you have 500 chickens, I don't want to be buying it by the small cases all the time. Let's fold that. Let's unfold this. This needs to be on swath mode. Alright, I'm kind of ready to go here. But before I do, JCB. Oh, okay, I'll definitely use that. The auger wagon I don't need. So I'm just going to go ahead and just empty it right into the trailer. I'm not going to go auger wagon to the trailer. JCB is something I think I might want to get for this map, because I was going to get it for the No Man Land map, but never came around to doing so. But this would be a good little tractor to zip around the map on, but it can do 45 miles an hour. But of course, if I do end up getting a truck, that can do probably a little bit faster, but yeah, you know, we'll see how it goes. See, can I tight turn here? A little bit into the guy's cotton field, but that's okay. We'll park that here for now, and then I'm going to tab, oh, there it is. Ooh, I almost got a full bale of grass in there. I wonder if the first bale is going to be completely grass, which means I would want to wrap it. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to harvest a little bit of field, then I'll bale the first bale and see if it comes out as grass or straw. And then once it starts making, well, once the first bale is complete, then I'll probably put them on a worker, and then one of the Franks will be following us while we harvest. Alright, I think everything we need is down here, so let's get started. Should be on swath mode. And now that I got myself a big combine, like I said, all the other harvesting contracts, I may go ahead and accept those and get to them in between episodes. I just need to go a little bit here so I can get that first bale done in the baler, see if it comes out as grass or is it going to convert it over to straw. Let's go ahead and stop right here. Alright, let me go ahead and unfold the baler. And looks like it automatically switched it right over to straw, which is fine. So I do want to turn off automatic drop, so it's already automatically on. All right, so let's go ahead and turn on follow me. And I always like it 60 meters behind me, just it leaves me some room. And who do we got here? Well, hello, Francine. That might be actually Francesca. That might be their daughter. Either way, doesn't matter. Let's get to harvesting here. I do want to make sure they do drop off the bales. Make sure that's all working as it should. 60 meters will be a little bit before they actually get going. And there she goes. I do see the baler already spitting out. Not quite the bale yet, it's putting it into the other container. So it shouldn't be long before hopefully I see a bale come up the back of that. Yep, I see a bale laying in the field. Perfect. We don't need the mini-map on anymore, but you can see where we are. We're kind of like south center of the map. And basically I go directly north up to that sell point there. That's where we got to bring the barley. Is that what we're harvesting? I think it's barley. Looks like barley. I don't know how big of a trailer that is that we got, but we do got the JCB. This field looks rather big, but I don't think it's going to take me as long as that potato field did. And we're going to get some straw off this field. Like I said, now I'm kind of all set to get all the other cereal contracts done. There's no cereal production I can do in my fuel refinery, right? Let's see. It's canola, sunflower, soybeans. I think this is olives. Sugarcane, sugar beet, cut, potatoes, wood chips. No. That's all fine. So any extra grain that we get as well, we'll just sell it as is. So I have no place to put it. Although I could put some into the chicken feed. They do require some cereal crop. But I think they're good for now. Anywho, I'm going to continue on here for a little bit. I'll probably bring it back when I'm making maybe my first delivery of grain up to the mill. So we can see how many trips do I need to make. But I think I'm going to have probably at least a third of this field done before I make a trip on up. Things are going on rather well in this field. Just one slight problem. Francesca didn't like it when I backed up once. I still haven't learned yet. Don't back up in a combine if you got follow me and a tractor behind you. I barely backed up a little bit because I wasn't paying attention on the first harvest. And the combine got full, so I backed up a little bit to get the rest of the grain that I went past. And yeah, Francesca decided to drive off into the middle of the field. So Frank Jr. has taken over, and he's doing a fantastic job. And so am I, so I'm not backing up. He's not missing any straw in the field, which is great. The slight thing I also noticed when I was filling up the grain trailer, I thought I had plenty more room in the grain trailer, and the combine just stopped unloading currently, the last load I had. And I'm looking at the grain trailer like, it's not full yet. But when you get to the JCB, the grain trailer is full. So I'm ready to bring a load up of barley to the sell point and get that delivered. But I'm going to go ahead and combine a little bit more with you guys, fill this on up, and then we'll go deliver. And then we'll check on a few things. I'm not going to complete this job in this episode. I'll do it off camera. But I'm not going to complete the contract completely. I mean, I'll complete the job. I won't complete the contract because I want all this equipment to do all the other contracts I'm about to accept. And then I got to make sure I collect on that cultivating job I did because, yeah, I'm going to exit the game. And when I come back in, that contract could disappear, the ones that you completed. So I want to make sure I collect on that before we finish here. And then we want to check on the fuel refinery, see how that is getting along. I did have a quick look when the combine was emptying at one point to see where to sell pig food, and pig food is not on the economy list to sell. So I may have to put down a sell point for bulk items, and that could be from the, I call it the Big Red Barn productions that we use on No Man's Land. The No Man's Land shop we use there, I think that shop will take bulk items. So anything that's not listed currently might show up there. So like pig food, compost may show up there as well. Yeah, so I'm not going to start another row of harvesting because I don't want to get down just a little bit of ways and have to drive. It's okay if I drive in the crop. There's no crop destruction on contract jobs. But it's just a good habit to be into. So let me wait until Frank Jr. is all set here. He's good enough. And what I'll do is I'll finish this row off here. I'll have to complete this job another day. Yep. Thank you, Frank Jr. You did a wonderful job. And boom, and I'll put this right here. All this is turned off. So before I forget, let me go into the contract page. Let me collect on this one. I don't want to refresh nothing because I want to collect, I want to accept all these harvesting jobs. Let me take that. So over here, Sorghum, I could use the header that we currently have, so let's accept that. Wheat, I can accept that. Wheat, sorghum. So I got a lot of harvesting contracts. I'm going to try to get them all done in between episodes. Then I'll try to collect them all at once with you guys, and then we'll go around, pick up all the straw bales I'm going to have. We'll sell those. But let's go ahead and let's get the first load of barley on up to the sell point. Yes, this is what I'm saying. I was looking at the grain trailer, not actually looking at the total when I was filling it up. I'm like, oh, I got plenty more room in this trailer than stop filling up. I mean, it is 52,000 liters, so that's quite a bit amount of grain. So it's going to make the other contracting jobs so much easier with a big combine. I'll zip through those fields in no time flat. And of course, we'll have someone following behind me doing the straw baling. Let's zip on up here and get the first delivery done. So yeah, a lot of fields here. I don't know which. I just accepted them all. I'm pretty sure these are a couple of the fields I'll be doing. But I am looking forward to field number 80 as well, because that's a big field. So I'll get paid well in the contract, of course. More straw. All that wonderful stuff. But we're back up to $21,000 in the bank account already. Just think not an episode or two ago we were down to 1,000 after putting down the fuel refinery, but we're doing okay. We're doing all right. There's the sell point right up here. But this is just for doing the contract. I'm going to guess this may get me more than halfway on the contract delivery. Not by much, but it's going to be right around 50%, I'm thinking. Probably should have my beacons on, traveling around. But the JCBs go so fast. But I'm still a hazard when you got 52,000 liters behind you. Alright, should be at the right place. Make sure when it starts dumping in, yep, money's not going up, so we're at the right place. And when it gets done going on in, it should say how much. I'm guessing like 55%. That's what I'm going to say. 54%. So not too bad. I'm going to leave that right here. So yeah, on the economy page, I look for big food. It's not there. But what I want to look at is our production. See how we're doing here. So we're already through. We're already through all the potatoes. We already went through 10,000 liters of potatoes. We have 549 liters of diesel. So that's not a whole lot. Pig food, we're almost up to 4,000 liters of pig food and 5,000 liters of compost. No place to sell compost or pig food. Actually, I don't even really have enough diesel to actually get that going. Although it's 10 liters of diesel for 25 electricity. 600 cycles per month. So I'm going to go through that really quick. So I'm not going to bother turning it on just yet. But let me go ahead and deactivate that so I'm not paying for it. But I could sell the pig food if I had some place to sell it. So what I'll probably have to do, is there a cheap version of that sell point? I don't even know if that's even active. So it may not even be in here. Is that under production, sell points? I think it's called the Farm Production Mod. Yeah, so it's only $1,000. Yeah, that's what I use. So a sell point, you can sell your harvested and produced goods. There's even one in here only for 100. I could place this down, honestly, and we may do this here. Let me, because I do own the land down here, because it cost me nothing. So I could just put another drop-off point here. Be kind of weird to have two drop-off points here, but let's see here. How do I want to do this? Yeah, probably like this. If it doesn't work out, then it only costs me 100. Alright, so now if I go into the economy page, does pig food show up and all that? Compost. Can't still sell compost. That should take pig food, I thought. Or maybe I may have to save the game, exit, and come back in for that to work. Alright, so I saved the game, came back in. Still doesn't show the pig food there, but it is called the Selling Station Grain Gate. That's what it's called. And it does show up on the sales page. I probably should check that the first time around. Don't know what I'm highlighted on now. That's for beams and pallets. Don't think I'll be getting into that. Still no place to sell the compost. But, you know, I could take it down there and see if it does take it. Because it still doesn't show pig food here. But I know that mod on No Man's Land, I was able to sell pig food there as well. But just may not show up on the list over here. But we'll find out. I can take a load on down there and figure it out later on. And I did have a double check. All my contracts, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 contracts are still there. 2 more harvesting contracts came up. One was for potatoes. I don't want to do another potato one. I will accept this one as well. So now we got 7 harvesting contracts to get along with. But that's where we stand currently. It's not going to take me, well, I don't say it's not going to take me too long. It's going to take me maybe a couple hours to get all that done. But we'll get them done, and then we'll sell the straw together, collect on all the contracts at the same time. I mean, roughly we're talking, let's see, 5, 13, 15, 17, 20, 23, maybe $25,000 in contracts, and then whatever we get for all the straw off the fields, plus the extra grain off the fields as well. And I may even bring some grain up here for the chickens. I'll see how they're looking on the food when I get near the end. But anyways, that's going to do it for today, guys. Hopefully you guys did enjoy the episode. I do appreciate you watching as always. I'll catch you again right here in East Vineland. But until then, have a good one.